Hey there. The holidays are here, so it's good to know Kroger can save you some time with free pickup on all your fresh favorites. Whether your traditions call for a hearty helping of juicy ham, ample apple pie, or Aunt Sue's legendary twice-stuffed stuffing, Kroger has got you covered. So order for free pickup at Kroger.com or the app and get more time to get your holiday on when you grab your groceries curbside. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
You're listening to Cleveland and Beyond with Andy Billman and Jared Watson, brought to you by Evergreen Podcasts.
And we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. He is Andy Billman. I'm Jared Watson, and this podcast is brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out, original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Also, coming soon, officially, to Evergreen Podcasts. Myles Garrett is back, baby. Garrett will be playing this week against the Titans, along with Andy Janovich, who is also back. Both of them back from COVID. Fuck that. Thank goodness. And then we're going to preview this Browns-Titans game, a.k.a. the headliner matchup of Chubb versus Henry. And we can't forget Hunt also. I think Baker Mayfield reminded some folks of that this week. The Buckeyes are playing as of Friday morning against Michigan State. Of course, these things can change within, the blink of an eye. And Kirk Herbstreit made some interesting comments about that team up north. We're going to discuss that. Also, a little Tribe news as they say goodbye to Tyler Naquin, and Cam Hill somehow was in a car accident, and it no one talked about it. It seems like it slid under the radar throughout the week. Of course, it popped up in my feed, Andy. He had wrist surgery because of the car accident. So we're going to talk about that. But first, Garrett is back as the 8-3 Browns head to Nashville.
Cleveland Browns.
It feels like a headliner when you say that, doesn't it? I mean, it's been an exciting week as a Browns fan. It feels like a big game, and it is.
Well, it is for multiple reasons. We're gonna have to get into that.
Yeah, it feels like a big game. This week has been the first week, and again, in many years, not just like this year, but many years, we've had this feeling like this is a big game, not just for us, but nationally. And when you got a headliner like Chubb and Henry, I think that adds to it. I think the other thing, Jared, that I'll lead off to, obviously Garrett being back is the main story. We're going to get to him first. The other thing I think that's very interesting from our perspective is, all year we've been playing all these different roles. This is the first time the Browns are back into the role we all love as Clevelanders. They are the official underdog. A lot of people are taking the Titans this week. Vegas is taking the Titans. The line started at 4. It's now at 5.5 for the Titans.
I think I saw 6.5 this morning.
It's jumping fast. A lot of people are very pro Titans this week. So this is the ultimate Cleveland. I mean, this is the role I think we all love as Clevelanders in a way. No one thinks that we're going to win. Even pundits in Cleveland, who are people that we love and listen to, don't have much hope for this game when you listen to them talk this week. So Jared, Garrett being back's a headliner, but I think the other one is it feels like a big game. It is a big game with Chubb and Henry, but I think, and the interesting thing is, for the first time, the Browns are really labeled as the underdog coming into this game. Really feel it.
So the Titans are in first place in the AFC South with their 8-3 record, and after beating the Colts like they did. Have they played them twice did they beat them twice this year yet?
1-1. They both won.
So they're
on
1-1. The way they looked in the last one. Well, as of right now, the Titans have a hold on the lead in that division. If they were to drop out, then they'd be battling with the Browns for a wild card. And in this position, if the Browns, we got to look at it this way. If the Browns lose, we want the Titans to win their division is what I'm saying, because if they win the division, then we're up against the Colts and we beat the Colts. That head-to-head tiebreaker for those wild card spots, we would have the tiebreaker against the Colts. The Titans would have the tiebreaker against us. There's a lot of importance here. I mean, that's why just winning this game is the important thing. Winning this game is important. You talk about Henry, you talk about Chubb, you talk about that matchup. It's going to be big. Myles Garrett's impact is going to be big on this game. Huge. Now, the Titans also have, I believe, some secondary issues that they've been dealing with. So they're kind of on the same track as the Browns. Matchup head to head, I don't know. There's a lot of similarities between these teams. The problem is the Browns have not been able to beat them the past 3 years. And the last time they faced them, they got blown out in the second half. So I saw an interesting take on this, which is Baker likes revenge games. Is this a revenge game for Baker?
I think it's bigger than that, actually. I really do. I think this team's become bigger than that. Like, I know what you mean. I can understand someone saying that, but this has become bigger than that.
Yeah.
This is much bigger than that. The Browns have become like they're on their march to the playoffs, and it starts this week. They took out the garbage. They beat the Texans, Eagles, and Jaguars. They took them out. You had to win those games. And now this week you get to Myles Garrett, and I'll start there. Myles Garrett being back is big. I think we all assumed that, but to hear it officially announced on Tuesday was nice to see. Made you feel good. Hearing Janovich is back made you feel good. All these things. It's been a good week outside of the Ronnie Harrison news, who is now going to be gone in the IR. Sounds like he's going to come back at some point, maybe, but doesn't sound like he's going to be back anytime before the Jets.
Yeah, pick the safety up off
Tedrick Thompson. Tedrick Thompson, which is good to see. The Browns need to do that. They're young
kid. He's only been in the league for 3 years, but he's only played 16 games, I guess. So we'll see.
Hey, the Browns are there. You need to pick up a safety. I mean, you're really light there.
Yeah.
But Garrett being back, look, if you listen to this podcast or any of the probably station here, Garrett's the best player in this team. You need him back for games like this. We know he's known for sacking a quarterback, but he brings an element to with helping to run. And it was talked about all week with Tannehill and some of the others. It's just good to have him back. This feels good. I feel very good coming into this game. I know many people are more nervous. I feel good. I mean, the thing is, we haven't had this game in a while. And there's a lot of expectations on this game. And I think there's a lot of question about this game. I think all that's normal. Here's a couple of things I want to point out, though. The Browns did beat the Colts. I hear it all the time. They haven't won a big game. They have. The Colts are good. You just can't discard that game. I think people are discarding that game way too easily. They beat a good Cowboy team who had Dak Prescott. They're not good now, but Prescott and that team was playing really well on offense. Now their defense stinks, but the Browns matched them point for point in that game. And OBJ had to play the game. I know he's not here, but he had to play the game to win that. So they've had good wins. I think sometimes we as Clevelanders shit on our wins too much. This team is a good 8-3 team. They have beaten the Colts. They won a great game in Dallas. Don't discard these wins. This is a legitimate 8-3 team. Yeah. It's now time to see what we got. It's okay to say you're feeling nervous because you're playing the Titans. That I understand. I don't understand, like, hey, are we 8-3, but are we for real? Well, of course, those are legitimate wins. We've seen the Browns in the past not even compete, lose all those kind of games to the Eagles, Texans, and Jaguars. Put in said year. So I do want to start with there, Jared. Garrett being back, Janovich being back, the injury list this week, everybody's basically back healthy. Aside from Ward, aside from Harrison, everybody's playing. It's feeling good. Nervous, of course. We want to see what we got. But I think we should be feeling better than what's being punded and drummed up this week. I just think it's been too negative and sour and Eeyore-ish. It's not. The Browns are 8-3. They're 8-3. It's a good team. Enjoy them.
And the Titans have won 2 straight, but the Browns have won 3 straight.
Yes.
And linking these wins 3 in a row, it's no easy task.
No.
It's no easy task. I don't care who you're playing. Yes. So, look, do I think that they're going to win this game? I think that that's definitely in the realm of possibilities. Well, are we going to be okay if they lose? I'll probably be a little frustrated, to be honest. But to say outright that you think that, I really, when I saw the line today, Andy, I was really taken back. I was really taken back. Like, what is it that is making it that big of a spread? What is it? I honestly don't know what
the national and local narrative is. The Browns need to prove who they are. And by the way, there is a good bit of truth in that statement because this is because
they didn't beat the Ravens or the Steelers in the first half of the season. That's really what it comes down to. Right.
And I'll add another. Let's just be fair, Frank. The Browns have never been here in a long time. Okay. The Browns are actually now in the position where they're expected to make the playoffs, and that's fair expectations, but we haven't been there. Okay. The last time we've been there is 2007, and we don't even remember that year. It's been that's 13 years ago now. So this is a very new turf to a first-time head coach. So there's a lot of unknown, and that stuff I understand. That I get. There is some proof here. You're outside the 2 New York games, and the Giants are playing better anyways. But outside these 2 New York games, Steelers, Ravens, Titans, these are all tough games.
And you've got to win at least one of them, and that's assuming that you win those 2 games in New York. You have to win the 2 games in New York, and you've got to take one of these others, and that'll help solidify everything. At least Andy and I believe so. That 11 wins locks it up for him.
I would even go a step further in saying you got a bye week against the Jets. The Jets are that bad. So you got 9 wins. Can you win 2 out of 4 against these 4 games? I say the answer is yes. I really do. 2 out of 4 against these 4. Now, do I have a really good vibe of what these games are going to be? Actually, no, I don't. But that's the fun of sports. I think we as Clevelanders got to accept this. This is the fun of it. You're now going to some more unknown territory, and that is good. And there's a lot coming back. But let's lead off. Myles Garrett is back. It sounds like he's been feeling well. Quote, Garrett is one of the top edge rushers we have in the game right now. He's a generation-type talent. His size, speed, and athleticism, definitely a ton of respect for him. That's from Ryan Tannehill, end quote. Stefanski, quote, checking in with him on Wednesday. He looked really good, and we'll see how he looks today, being Thursday. Sounds like he looked good yesterday, too. Just keeping an open dialogue with him. I think, we all got to realize, too, with someone coming back like this, I don't know if it's going to be a light switch, but Jared, we all know it makes a huge difference that Garrett's back on the field. His presence alone.
Well, his presence alone, and he's done a lot better against the run this season than he has in the past. And that is something that you are going to need this coming matchup, period, because you're going up against the top running back rushing yards wise, 1,200, almost 1,300 yards already for Derrick Henry this season. You've got to be ready for it. And the Browns they've been slipping against the run in the past few weeks from the way that things have looked.
They've been slipping on the run for the last few years. I mean,
but Browns, my point is they still came into that Jacksonville game ranked 8th against the run.
Not anymore.
But I mean, that's what I mean is I think that they've been dropping. I think they dropped 2-8 from the game prior to that. Like, that's my point is they're trending down against the run, and that's rather frustrating. This is a week where you really look. Are they going to contain?
They're not going to contain.
Derrick Henry's going to get his 100+ yards.
Yes, he is.
Are the Browns going to get their 200+ yards?
Probably.
And that could be the difference.
Well, here's
and again, I think this is another protect the football game.
Oh, this
is a big time protect the football.
Ready
game.
for this? For all the headlining between Chubb and Henry, and it should be. Those are the big 2 stars on the offensive side for both teams. Ready? It's now time to 6. Can 6 outplay Tannehill? And that's, I think, the difference in this game. Can 6 outplay Tannehill? Tannehill's had a nice year.
I know.
He's playing well coming into this game. He's not playing great. He's playing well. But I think this is the game that actually, if you really look through the periphery, that's the real matchup to me. Henry's going to get his yards. Chubb and Hunt will do their thing. I think that equates out. I really do. I think you're.
I don't think it's equal. I think the Browns have the edge. You only got one Derrick Henry. I really don't think it's equal. I think it comes down to what we're talking about here is what we're saying is the Titans defense is not going to be able to stop them the whole game. The Titans defense has really been a big part of what's been keeping what's got them in first place.
Titans don't play well on defense. They don't. And here, look, let's go to their stats real quick. Just we went through the Brown stats.
Their secondary doesn't do well at all.
Their secondary is very strong, but they are 16th against the run, 28th against the pass.
Very strong. I was looking at the fact.
25th overall defense. 25th. I mean, look, here's the thing.
It is that bad.
No, the defense for the Titans is not good. Now look. Now look. When it comes to games like this.
Well, yeah, but I mean the secondary, it helps that Dory Jackson.
Well, look, they have good safeties, and it's been pumped up all week. But the Titans do not worry me when it comes to certain things. I do think these two teams are equal. I do think these teams are really even. And I think Mayfield and Tannehill are the difference in this game. I think whoever plays better is probably going to win this game. I really do. And that's saying a lot because we all been nervous and gone back and forth on what we feel about Baker. But I think this is a good challenge for him. And, for people who do think it's a revenge game or everything else, well, good, because this is a chance to really shine. Because Tannehill and Mayfield are even. Well, I think they're virtually even.
I think that I, for some reason, came into this thinking that the Titans defense was better than it is. And looking at things now, I'm realizing they are not as good as I believed. I think I probably got that because they were able to hold Indianapolis 20-some points. So, they're not going to – the over-under here is what, 53, 54 points? I think the over is the way to go in this game. I think that both teams are probably going to score a lot of points. Again, you're right when it comes down to Baker and Tannehill, that's probably going to be it, which again reminds us that protecting the ball is the most important thing. Baker's got his 4 games without an interception.
I think a big thing in this game though is going to be on short yard situations, seeing the Browns get that extra yard or get the ball in the end zone. They have not been consistent with that on this running game.
Well, Lord knows, even when they get the first down, apparently they're not getting the first down. So
we won't go back down memory lane on that. But anyways, I will say again though, big yards and big spots and tough spots for the Browns is going to be a big key. And again, I think these two teams I just think these two teams mirror each other a lot. Mm-hmm. Outside of the fact that the Titans have proven themselves to win big games and win the playoffs, the Browns have not. And that's a big difference in this game. The Titans have shown their chops. The Titans have shown that they can do big things on the road. That's the other thing element here I guess we should throw in too, Jared. The Browns are going to be on the road. And here's something I talked about with Holly, which I'll bring up to you. I think another key question is if the Browns are up late, I think the Browns are going to win the game. Oh, can the Browns come back if they're down 3 or 4 points? That's a different question. I don't know. I'm interested to see how that plays out.
I think they can. I think either one is possible, and I think they can. I think that if they're down, they run the ball. You know what they do. You know what they do. They just hand the ball off for the entire fourth quarter. That's fine by me. But if you're down, yeah, I can see a game winner with Baker. Mm-hmm. Why not? Why not?
He's done it before. He did in Cincinnati.
That's what I mean. I don't necessarily think that the game-winning drive is something that's out of reach for Baker.
No,
I just don't.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's in these spots. And that's the biggest. That's where I know we're all nervous, but I'm more nervous excitement. And Jared hit on something too. In case whatever happens, win or lose, when we know what those roads are, we'll be lighting off fireworks on Sunday night on Instagram. But if they lose, you got pad because you've won the games you're supposed to win. You've got pad now. You're going to be going 8-4. It's okay. I don't want to start giving therapy sessions in case of a letdown. But all I'm saying is Jared hit on it, and I agree with him. If you lose, you've gotten pad to the point where it's not going to kill you. The Browns winning this game is huge, yes. The Browns losing this game is also not huge. This is not the end-all, be-all game. I think next Monday night is the end-all, be-all game.
Even you mentioning that now makes me nervous.
That's the game. That's the game.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football, strap in, buckle up. That's the game. That's the game.
Hey, one more small storyline for this one. This is Jack Conklin's return to Tennessee. He played his 4 years there and then signed that three-year, $40+ million with the Browns and has had the best season of his career, according to Pro Football Focus. So that'll be nice for him to go in there and have a solid game. And,
there's a really nice articles being done on the offensive line. And I think something that I took into this, like they talked about, Wills has had a better year pass blocking than rushing. Obviously, Batonio and Teller have done an excellent job on the run. You just mentioned Conklin seems to do everything. There's something I would mention that I don't think it's brought up enough about the Browns that needs to be brought up. This year's great. Next year, I think could be even better. This offensive line I think is going to get better. I think Stefanski is going to get better. I think this team's going to get better. And I haven't been able to say that in a long time. I really like the future of the Browns. I really, really do. I like where this is going. There's so much upward positive trend. And we only talk about that with the Indians so much. We should now add the Browns. The Browns have a lot of upward good trends going into 2021.
And it's really steady as she goes too. It's not big jumps, big leaps, big crazy. This is just trucking along, choo-choo up that mountain. And that's what's going on with this Browns team. And it's because they are a team, the way that they're playing. They didn't do that last season. Oh, my goodness. You didn't know who was the leader on the team.
Oh, you couldn't. Oh, that was
the way that Stefanski puts the onus on these players to rally around each other, to, selecting different team captains each game. And trying to do that to match up against whatever it is that he feels is most important needs wise against whatever team they're playing that week. I mean, there's just small. I mean, even that's a small thing that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Stefanski's they're on their way, Andy. They're on their way.
I just think that should be said. The future looks really bright. And these are 5 weeks. This is going to be nerve-wracking times outside the Jets game. I think the Jets game is a cakewalk. Sorry, I do. I'm cocky. I think it's going to be a cakewalk. But I think those other 4 are going to be, even the Giants game, I think it's going to be nerve-wracking. I really do. I think all these games are going to have some nerves, ups and downs. But just remember, this is where you want to be.
Yeah.
And this is where you need to be, and this is where the Browns should be. They have good talent. This is a good team, and they're ready for this. I just want to pump this up one more time. Don't be Eeyore-ish about this game. Oh, the Mighty Titans. Yeah, they're good. This is a very good team who waxed us last year in opening week. Yes, and yes. But it doesn't mean the Browns can't challenge them and embrace this challenge. I just think there's got to be more belief, Jared, that I'm hearing from some of these local pundits. I just don't think it's that bad. It's not that gray. This is a tough game. Derrick Henry's an excellent running back. So is Nick Chubb. So is Hunt. We're ready for this. Maybe Tannehill is a good matchup. Let's see how it plays out. Let's roll the dice, as they like to say. Let's play our cards out and see what happens. I do think there's a little bit of this game for me. Like, you know what? We're ready for this. We've been challenged for this all year as Browns fans, and the Browns certainly have too. Let's embrace this challenge and enjoy it. Crack that Bud Light. Pour that whiskey. Pour that bourbon. Let's enjoy this. This is what we've been waiting for. How many fucking times have we done this sad show where it's like, all right, and the Browns are now drafting 10th. Looks like we're going to draft offensive tackle. Oh, that's exciting. We're not doing that. This is good. Enjoy this. Too much Eeyore-ish. And I think it's great that the Browns are the underdog. There is no doubt with this matchup, even though I think these teams are more even, to be fair, the Titans have proved it. So the Titans are and they deserve the crown, the favorite going into this game. I think that's an earned title, and the Browns need to prove that. That's fine. So the Browns the Browns aren't the favorite. No one thinks nationally you're going to win. So isn't this fucking great? So there should be no expectation.
I mean, I love it.
I do too.
I love it. And again, when you talk about the need in the antacids and the fact that there's going to be some nervous moments in these games, I've talked about it for a couple of weeks now in a row. This is like Jim Tressel ball, the way that they're kind of winning these games.
I'm glad you brought that up. This is a team. Scottish Hammer in the Eagle game, punting the ball inside the 5, led to a safety. Yeah. Parkey making field goals. D'Ernest Johnson, who we teased earlier this year, is actually doing a much better job on kickoff returns. He has had back-to-back good games. Peoples-Jones, who all made us nervous, is doing much better punts in the last 2 games. Eagles and Jaguars, much better. Landry went off last week. It's
Kadarrell Hodge is still there consistently,
and by the way,
making plays on the field.
Has had a 180 in his career. He stunk in 19. He is so much better in 2020. It's remarkable.
Coaching.
I know.
Coaching.
It's just building. When Harrison's injured, we're not jumping off the bridge. We're feeling okay. Yeah. Next guy up, Thompson. Here we go. Plug and play.
Let's go.
This is the way it should be. This is the way it should be. The Browns went 2-0 without Myles Garrett. The Browns went 3-1 without Nick Chubb. Who had that this year? Anybody? Again, 2-0 without Myles Garrett. 3-1 without Nick Chubb. This team's been tested a lot, folks. A lot more than what people want to give caution to now.
And that's not to say that their presence weren't felt, that their loss of presence wasn't felt, because what the Browns had to do is win through different means.
That's right.
The Browns running game took a hit. No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
With Nick Chubb out.
No doubt.
The Browns defensive line took a hit with no Myles Garrett.
You know what, though? Olivier Vernon played well.
Right.
He did a good job. I could not believe it. Even last week, he got held like crazy. He played well. Wouldn't it be amazing if Olivier Vernon kept that going against this week with Myles Garrett back?
Boy, is Olivier Vernon back next season?
We'll see. He's a free agent.
Right?
He's an FA.
I know.
We'll see.
The Browns, come on now. They still sit on $50 million a year.
We'll get to that for another show. I got a nice list of free agents. I know. Well, that's next. That's for a show down the road. But yes. But for right now, Olivier's on this team, and he's played well in the last 2 games. I just think there's been a little bit of this and that from fans being a little too negative. I think it's fair to say that they have to prove themselves. I think that's very fair, and that is accurate. That's why they are underdogs. Cool. They have to prove that. I agree with that, especially on the road.
We're 11. I mean, look, there's 11 games that they've played, Andy. They've played 11 games at this point. This team has gotten better over time.
Yeah.
They have settled in. They have an identity, and they make small mistakes that they recognize and that they don't lose their minds over when they do.
They don't shit the bed.
They adjust. They fix it. Look, I really genuinely think that they've got a good chance to surprise a lot of people this week.
I do too. You and I are on the same wavelength. Now, here's something that made me pause, but I digested it. Did you see Hodge's comments? I'll read them off to people who didn't see it. Hodge this week on Monday, quote, "I think it will help us out a lot. Confidence is major. Once we get rolling, then we will get rolling. I do not look at the Titans as a super team. They can get beat like anybody else," end quote. He said some other things too.
Yeah. And then
this got a lot of press, as it should. This was the first time, though, at first I winced, and then I was like, oh man, I don't know. But you know what? Part of me goes, this is what made the 95, 96, 97 Indians fun. They had swagger. Okay. The Browns haven't had swagger since 88, 89.
Well, they tried to have swagger last year, and that was all it was false bravado.
False bravado is not swagger. That was Showtime Browns with no Showtime.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, it really was. It was like, we're good. No, you're not. But this year, this is legit. And I do like that edge that the team has. Now, I don't want quotes and headlines going out, but I thought Stefanski handled it well this week, saying, I'm not the thought police. I like that, too. I like that this team's showing swagger. They should. You're 8-3. Now, again.
But I mean, what did he say that was so wrong on that? He didn't call the Titans trash. He just said they're not a super team. They're like any other team in the league. They can be beat.
No.
Okay. Cool. You know what? Here, let me add another team to that list. The fucking Steelers.
They lost.
Who barely beat the Ravens, who are completely decimated.
Yeah, and by the way, lost Bud Dupree. So no more J.J. Watt and Dupree. It's only going to be a Watt now. Or I'm sorry, Watt alone. Anyways, but it's only going to be Watt. Dupree's gone.
Well.
So, I mean, look, and that's for another story.
Is there anything better? Would there be anything better? Now let's play this game real quick. Would there be anything better than the Browns taking on an undefeated Steelers team in the playoffs and beating them? Would there be anything better than that? Would that not be the greatest fucking thing that could possibly happen?
All right.
That's all. I like playing with that one. That's one that it's been in my head for the past 3 weeks.
The one thing that I will say, and then we'll get to prediction time. What is ahead, though, the Browns are by far of all these playoff teams, winning percentage-wise, the Browns have the toughest schedule remaining. And the Dolphins do too. Colts and Browns are similar, but the Browns by far have toughest. Titans and the Raiders. Raiders have a very, very easy cakewalk, and it starts this week against the Jets. So the Raiders have some easy games coming up. So let's keep that in mind. You got to keep winning is my point. You got to keep winning. I keep saying this, Jared. 11 is a magic number. If you get to 11, you're in. I don't care what kind of schedule, whatever else. You're in at 11. There's no doubt. All these teams going the way it is, it's 11s, you're in. 10 and 6, I think it's like anything else. It's returns and waiting for the election type stuff. But I think you're in good shape. You can't be 9. Got to get to 10. 11, you're Lockadini. All right, so we kind of teed it up. I guess I'll lead off here. If you would have asked me a couple weeks ago, did they beat the Titans, I would have said no. If you would have asked me after last Saturday and Sunday they beat the Titans, I would have said no. I thought about it a lot this week, and I always go on momentum of what others are thinking at times with these picks. I felt this with the Cowboy game, and I'm going to compare it to that. I actually do think the Browns are going to win. I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't fucking believe I'm saying this. I think the Browns are going to win. I think it's going to be very, very close. I do think the Browns need to be ahead late to win now. I don't know if they're there yet to win, come back and win. So I think they get the lead some point in the fourth quarter. I think they somehow hold on. I would not be surprised in this game if Olivier Vernon plays well again. I just got a vibe on him. I think something clicked on his brain. I think Olivier Vernon's going to play big again. I'll repeat. I think Olivier Vernon's going to play big. I think that will be big in this game. I think Mayfield does what he has to do. I think Chubb and Hunt stay consistent. I think the Browns win 28-24. I think the over-under line's perfect. I
literally was sitting here pondering the fact that I said earlier to take the over, and I was thinking Browns 28-24.
Yeah, I think the over-under number is perfect. I think it's a great Vegas line. Yep. But I do think the Browns cover. I don't feel confident in that, but I do think they cover, and I like the Browns to win. I do. I just think they are.
Well, how are the Browns going to cover if it's 5.5, 6.5? You're calling 20.
Well, no, but they get points. They get points.
Oh, what am I talking about?
They get
what points. Am I talking about?
Yeah. So even if they lose by 3 or 4, they
got my head on backwards.
Yeah, that's all right. It happens. It's been a long week. But again, I say this. Would the Titans winning shock me? No. Would the Titans blowing out the Browns shock me? No. But I will warn again, this reminds me of the Steeler game. The blowout's the only thing the Browns can't have happen. If you get blown out, you will have a lot of hand wringing on Monday morning. That's my only warning. Would not get blown out. Everything else I think is digestible. A blowout, though, I don't know.
I don't see a blowout.
I think it's in play, but I don't think it's going to happen. I've learned about this.
I don't think it's in play.
No, they've gotten blown out twice this year, so I've seen it.
I don't think it's in play this week.
I hope you're right. And by the way, I think they're going to win, so of course I don't think it's going to happen. But I think this is very, very close. Again, do I bet my house on the Browns winning? Fuck no. do I like say like all my eggs in one basket? No. But I like the Browns' chances enough to say 60-40. I really do think they win. I really do. But I know this is a very even matchup, and I know the Titans have been here, so the Browns do have that prove me status. I think they will. I don't know why. I just think I like how this team is developed. I like how this team is going. Yeah. And again, I just like how Olivier Verne's played the last two games. And I don't think that light switch is going to go off. Now, the light switch goes off, come back on Monday morning, and you'll hear me pounce on them, or Instagram on Sunday night. I mean, I think that's a key in this game. I really do, Jared. I think Olivier Vernon is key.
Olivier Vernon is key. A strip sack would be nice. A little pick six would be nice. I think the defense is going to have to get involved in this one if they're going to win.
Tannehill Mayfield's a big story in this game. It's the underlying story that's not being talked about, and I know in my gut that will be a storyline in this game. I know it.
Protect the ball, Baker.
And by the way, same with that. Pressure Tannehill and make him feel nervous. Make that guy feel nervous. He's not a great quarterback. He's
Correct.
Not. Pressure him and make him feel nervous.
Correct.
And again, I think Olivier needs to do that. I just think in that sense too. And one last thought, just remember, Olivier Vernon's been playing better. I think him playing better in this game is going to be key. I really, really do in this game.
Does Myles get a sack?
I don't think so. I think it's going to take a week. I think think
he's going to get one.
We'll see. I mean, it's total guess.
Man, I'm being a complete fucking homer today.
That's okay. That's all right.
I think he gets one. He gets one.
What did you think of the Steelers-Ravens game?
I thought that as I was watching the score, as I was driving around and making stops and doing stuff for the house, that the score told me everything I needed to know that I didn't even bother watching.
I thought
it seemed like it was flat.
It didn't seem it meant nothing to me for the Steelers, meaning I don't think that means to the next game. It really doesn't. Outside Dupree's injury, I think that's big.
Right.
I thought that began the beginning of the end, possibly the Ravens this year.
Yeah, I mean, 6-5 and coming off of the fact that you've got guys that are out with COVID, and 6-5, man, that's a hard hole to dig out of in this season, this year. The way that things are playing out, wild card wise.
Big 2 weeks for the Ravens. Obviously, us on Monday Night Football, but this Cowboy game is big, huge game. I think that game is really in play. I don't have a vibe for that game at all. The other games to watch is for us Browns fans. You might want to peek over at the late games for the Patriots Chargers a little bit. That game doesn't really sexify me at all. Boy, these are lousy games this week. Colts play early against the Texans. God, hopefully the Texans stay hot. They've won 2 in a row. It'd be nice to see them keep winning. The Raiders play the Jets. Sucks. They're going to win. There's really not a lot of other things out there that really catch my eye this week. We obviously know who the Titans are playing. They're playing us. And, I mean, that's about it. Really.
I don't know. Is that Washington game a catch game for the Steelers? No, not a chance.
I don't think so. I just don't think so. I think what Tomlin did was very smart.
Do the Bills win in San Francisco? I think they do.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I think the game to watch is Tuesday night. I think that game is in play. I think the Cowboys are going to play desperate in that game. I think that's a hard game for the Ravens to win. That's not roll out of bed, beat the Cowboys. I just don't think it is. I think these are the 2 weeks for the Ravens. I told that to my son. I believe it. I think if the Ravens lose the Cowboys, it's going to steamroll. But if they win.
You think they check out against the Browns?
Not check out. I think it's the beginning of the end. I'm just seeing things. We've seen teams like this. The Ravens are going to have those kind of seasons. You can just feel it. But if they beat the Cowboys, hey, everything's I'm telling you right now, if the Ravens win, Everything's on Monday night. Everything. Monday night. It's better watch us on Instagram. Monday night on Monday night.
You ready for that, brother? Are you ready for that? Well, let's
win or lose that Monday night game against the Ravens. That's the Cowboys is the big game Tuesday night, and it's nice it's on Tuesday night, so we get a nice preview into what we're about ready to play.
Wouldn't it be nice to be able to take a breath if they can win this week and next week?
Yeah, but it's okay if they don't. I really mean that. It's okay if they don't. Now, the Ravens game means a lot to me. They got to beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
Got to beat that game's the Titans game. I'm going to be disappointed, but I get it. Boy, the Ravens game, got to fucking knock them out, Jared. Got to knock them out. That's a different game.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Different game. You can't lose.
And to be honest, I mean, I hate to. I mean, I really want them to beat the Steelers too.
Oh God, of course. And that is a different game. Rivalry, not this want to know bullshit stuff.
No, you can't. You can't go into the week thinking it's just another.
I don't want to hear that.
Enough of that.
No, I don't want to hear that against Ravens.
And I hope that Stefanski only had to learn that one time.
Yeah. And I will warn. I think the Giants game is trickier than what I want to stop.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think it's a hard game, but I think it's tricky.
Well, so that Eagles fan thought that game was
no, that guy was lost. And is he around?
On social media, we had a guy who was hitting us up, giving us all these stats about how the Eagles were going to.
If they were to play the Browns 10 times, the Eagles would have. Okay, dude. Well, they're not going to. So, take care. Bye. All right. I mean,
thanks for coming.
And by the way, keep watching. We want your viewership. Now, look. Speaking of viewership, did anybody see what Herbstreit said about the mighty team up north? Buckeyes, as of Fridays, my partner said, are playing Michigan State. It's 12-4. This is an hour-by-hour story. I would really keep checking in. I would not be surprised if this game gets canceled, especially after Ryan Day's, I would say, at best, lukewarm press conference. Quote, it's been a tough week. It's certainly been a frustrating week, but I'm resting comfortably, end quote. That was not a happy. I don't know what that was. That was bad.
Ryan Day isn't feeling well.
Dude.
This is, I don't like any of this. You know this. I don't like any of this.
This game has a fog to it. It really, really has a fog to it.
It feels icky. Everything feels icky right now.
Forced. We talked about this. I think Ohio State's in an impossible spot. I really do. I think they have to play this game from a PR standpoint. That doesn't mean it's the right thing to do from health and safety, but from a PR standpoint, they have to play. They have to play this game. They have put so much on the line this season. I just think it's a difficult spot. And then for people who didn't see it, Kirk Herbstreit, who I worked with at times, a nice man, said some interesting stuff, though, on Tuesday night during the playoff show. Quote, I still think Michigan waves the white flag and doesn't play Ohio State next week, end quote. Basically saying that, they're going to just check out. They are not playing Maryland. They're not playing Maryland this week because of COVID.
Look, now, I know there's a lot of uproar with this, with some folks. Andy, let me ask you,
No. Let me ask you. Right? No. Reverse. You laugh. Let me ask you. What do you think of Herbie in these statements?
I've always, to be completely honest, I haven't, and I've talked about this with as much of a homer as I am. I'm not one to sit there and not call out shit when I don't like it. This is who Herbie is. Herbie can be a dick. Let's just say it. He can be a dick. He's done it in the past. He calls out trolls on social media in strange ways sometimes. He can be an angry dude. He can say dumb things. He can let his ego get ahead of his mouth a little bit sometimes. And I think that's one of these situations. He's not the only one, though, too. There's so much up in the air. You've got folks talking about Michigan not allowing Ohio State, not wanting to play them because they don't want to get their cooties. I mean, there's so much. So many people rivalry just saying shit because they don't have any information, which goes again back to what I said before: is keeping shit secret does not do anyone justice.
From an outsider who's non-Michigan, non-Ohio State, that game next week has some juice now.
No, whatever.
And wait, let me talk now.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, yes, it does. It doesn't mean that Michigan's going to win. I don't think we're going to win at all. I think they're going to get blown out. But this rivalry needed a jump start, and it got it. Because that comment, and I know Harbaugh from afar. That is Schimbeckler. That is Mr. Michigan. That is Mr. Maize and Blue. That is Bob Ufer, honking the horn. That is Fielding Yost, Rising Up, Carr, all those guys. Michigan coming out.
Okay.
And that had to eat him alive when he heard that.
Did it eat him alive when Day told him he was going to put 100 on him?
Look,
before the season
Jared,
started because he was a dumbass on the phone?
Jared, it means nothing in 2020.
Trash.
It doesn't. Nothing. But I'll say this. That rivalry, which doesn't need much to tweak.
Which, by the way, you're talking about next season. Harbaugh might not even be there.
All fair. I'm not saying any of this. This rivalry, though, this game, which I was admitting at points, I'm like, boy, no buzz, no anything. Well, it's got buzz now. Doesn't mean the game's going to be competitive, but it's got buzz. Really good buzz. And now I'm fascinated to watch what's going to happen. And I already know it's like, look, if they tee it up, Ohio State's going to blow them out. But I want to see it. I actually want to see the game now, Jared. I really want to see this game.
I'm going to watch it, obviously.
Real quickly to the game itself, is I have been around sports forever. I have never seen more of a non-preview for Ohio State and Michigan State. You can't find a preview. It's all about this talk we're talking about. You can't get into X's and O's. It's all about the shit we're talking about. Wow. If Ohio State plays Michigan State, I think they win. Michigan State stinks. Okay, that's that. Yeah. But all that to be said, there is mystery behind this game. If I were a gambler, I would stay far away from this game because I think Ohio State.
Who's sick?
Who's sick? What's going to happen? I think it's a mystery. Ohio State can win by 30 or by 3. It is that kind of game. Like, it is very weird up in the air. I have never seen a game with this much on the line where you can't find a decent preview to what's going to happen on the field. Mm-hmm. Can't find it. Jared, I've never seen this. Here's one thing I'll say to Herbie. He feels the way not what he's saying. I don't agree with anything what he said, but I agree with his frustration. This has been a very frustrating college football season. I said they should have played in the spring. I still believe that. They didn't. Okay, they're playing. And this sport, which I think will be just fine in 2021, feels very fractured. And I love the Irish. I'm into it. This Irish-Syracuse game, no buzz, no hype.
Well,
Clemson-Vatech,
I mean, come on now.
No hype. Nothing.
Notre Dame is going to absolutely destroy Syracuse. That's a given.
They only play basketball now, and that's cool. I guess they don't talk about Jim Brown and Ernie Davis and McNabb. I guess all those days are dead. Of course, Syracuse. They have a good basketball team. But
don't forget Walter Reyes. God rest his soul.
Yes. But Bama, LSU, yawn. I mean, the only game to me outside of the basic stuff is I love the BYU game. Love it. BYU playing Coastal Carolina, all over it. I'll watch that game start to finish. Yeah. Ann Arbor, A&M and Auburn, I'll check it out. But there's some big games, and they don't feel big. They don't have buzz. The biggest storyline this week is what we just talked about. I think in 2021, back to normal. But boy, this year's fractured. And they need to expand this playoff to 8 to 16 teams.
Oh man, and we still haven't heard anything. Not a peep. Which tells me, Andy, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it this season. If they don't do it this season, I don't see them doing it anywhere in the near future either. They
can go back to 4 after next year. If they did that, I'd be fine with it. But this year, with everything that's going on, why can't you expand?
No, but because they're afraid if they go to 8, they're going to have to stay at 8. That's why.
Well, that'd be for a different podcast, I guess. All that to be said.
I just don't see them doing it, Andy. You know why? Because it's the right thing to do, and they don't always do the right thing.
Notre Dame, Syracuse, Clemson, Vatech, Bama, LSU, A&M, Auburn, Florida, Tennessee. Those are the games to watch outside of the Bucks and Spartans. So there you go. All right, we're going to wrap it up with the Indians. Indians had a lot of moves, unusually for this late in the year, but they had a lot of moves yesterday. Not unusual, because it's that time of year. So let's get to we'll get to Cam Hill last. Let's get to the on the field stuff first, which that is on the field in a way. No more Tyler Naquin, no longer Deion DeShields. I'm going to start on DeShields. I really enjoyed him as a person. I'm really sad that he's leaving as a person. He's a good dude. Deion DeShields means well and does good things for the community and is very well spoken and very, very smart human being. I don't normally say this, but I think it did. I think that timestamp moment in Game 2 with him slipping and sliding around against the Yankees really stuck with probably some people's craw in the organization. Yeah. And I don't blame him. It was an eyesore. It did not have good optics. Deion DeShields is gone. Naquin is gone. Neither of them are tendered. Naquin, boy, had some great moments. The Blue Jays game inside the park home run with his fist in the air. He was a well-liked Indian by the fans. Jared, I like Naquin too. Good dude. I'm not surprised by either move, and I actually think those are the right moves. Naquin and DeShields not being tendered made sense to me.
Yeah. How long are we going to wait on Naquin? Right? Man, no big deal.
I've seen enough.
And we could say that about a handful of dudes on that team.
I've seen enough of Naquin. I hate saying that. It hurts me to say it, but now the pure business on the field, I've seen enough of Naquin. Time to move on.
I'm with you. And the Shield's the same thing. It's the
optics in game 2 are just him sliding around the outfield was just bad. Bad. Now to Jeffrey Rodriguez, which was an eyebrow raise for me. Now, Mandy Bell, friend of the show, actually wrote out a story about this. Now, Rodriguez was a bit of a surprise considering he's 27 years old and pre-arbitration eligible. But Antonetti, quote, "It was a way for us to remove Jeffrey from the roster but not limit our options with him moving forward." End quote. Quote, "We could re-sign him back to a major or minor league deal without any restrictions at this point. Our expectation is that he'd be able to come into spring training healthy and ready to compete for a spot." End quote. It sounds like they're expecting to have Jeffrey come back and sign something. I was surprised by that. I'm not sure if I necessarily understand that move even after those comments, but obviously we trust Antonetti, so he knows what he's doing. But Naquin, DeShields, yes. Jeffrey Rodriguez, I was like, wow, young pitcher like that. So hopefully, but it sounds like they're going to get him back. I would give Jeffrey another chance. I liked when he was healthy. I really did.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, if you can have him back, great. If you can have him back, great. Again, I don't worry that much about their pitching staff. I don't worry much about any move. I mean, I trust the moves that they make.
I just would like to see Jeffrey in the bullpen. I think they could use an arm like that out of the bullpen. That's where I see Jeffrey Rodriguez being. I don't know what the Indians' plans are, but I know at one point he was a reliever. I think I'd put him back in that spot. I think he'd be a good 7th, 8th man guy. I really do. I really like that as for where I see Jeffrey going. You got Clase and Karinchak. One of those guys are going to be the closer next year.
Yeah. And
Jeffrey is one of those guys. You're going to need some guys coming out in the 7th, 8th, and maybe 6th inning. And I think Jeffrey could fill that role. I just do. That's what I would do. And this goes to my other story now. For this somehow got, I don't know what the proper term is, but it just was not talked about.
Well, it got buried, to be honest.
It really did get buried. Yeah. Indians reliever Cam Hill was in a serious car accident in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he had to actually have surgery on his pitching hand. Really no details yet about how that's going or what his recovery time is, but there's a picture on Instagram. If you look at Mandy Bell's Twitter account, she has a picture of it. It is stark. It is. I mean, it doesn't look good. Hopefully he's doing okay, and I'm thankfully he's doing okay.
I mean, his post was positive. He was glad. Yes. He was grateful that everyone was okay. I think that he took the brunt of it. The car looked like it was wrecked up pretty bad, totaled. And I'm just glad he's okay. Hopefully the surgery went well. And I mean, really, we're not going to be able to make any assessments on what his future is going to be for the Indians regarding how his wrist is going to heal and how what exactly was hurt with this. So let's just hope for the sake of hoping that everything works out fine for him and that he's going to be ready to go. I mean, there's really nothing else that we've got. There's no other answers. There's nothing, no idea. Just heal up and let's see what happens.
That's why the Cam Hill and Jeffrey Rodriguez story to me has a lot more intertwined because I don't know what you can expect from Cam Hill now. By the way, for people who missed it too, Adam Simber before the Cam Hill accident was traded away for cash considerations.
Straight
not
cash,
surprising.
homie. Straight cash,
homie. And that's not both were not surprising to me. The cash or Simber being traded, both.
Yeah. There's obviously some jokes we can make about the Indians and cash and. Just need the money.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. There's going to be the Indians have that vibe, and they've earned that vibe. They feel like a team that doesn't have a lot of. They're not rubbing dollars or rubbing coins. Would be my example. But anyways, all that to be said, a lot of moves being made by the Indians. There's more to come. It sounds like they're going to re-sign Wickren, which is good. He had a good year.
Yep.
Boilermaker, he's coming back, which is good to hear. And I think there's more of these things to come. And again, I checked nothing on team name, nothing on the door.
No, I think that there was just a quick, I think Antonetti or somebody just mentioned briefly or put out some statement as my dog. What are you mad about? My boxer's mad at something. Barking at the mailman.
That's understandable.
Matilda. Anyway, this is how we're going to wrap it up. That they are still working on the name and they don't have it yet. But there were no other details. And of course, nobody else asked any questions like, what is the process? What's this look like right now? No one's getting into it. And I really wish that there was some more, I don't know, like some decent reporting here where can we ask some questions about how this is going? Because no one's asking anything.
Yeah, the team name is just floating about it. Just floating along. Real quickly, the Cavs did start up training camp. We'll do a lot more in the Cavs next week. I didn't feel like this week would be good to do that because there's not a lot of stuff to talk about yet.
Talk about their ugly city uniforms.
What's up?
Could we talk about their ugly city uniforms?
You're going to laugh. I didn't see them. What do they look like?
Oh, dude. So once again, because we have to do it why? Why do we always have to do it? Why do we always have to tie everything to the Rock Hall? Why? Everything. Is Cleveland just the Rock Hall now? I don't understand it. So they took letters from different band names, like different Rock and Roll Hall of Fame bands, and the way that they, the font of those bands and kind of put them in like, when people cut out newspaper letters to make a word and kind of did it that way to say Cleveland. It just doesn't do anything for, I mean, I don't get it. Like, stop, like Metallica's font and like Blink 182's font or whatever the hell. I don't remember all the bands that they used. But they're all people that are in the Rock Hall. And I'm just like, can we get off the fucking Rock Hall? Can we?
I missed that. I'll have to check it out. EJ, one of our best fans. Love EJ. Happy Friday to you, EJ. The Cleveland baseball team. I'm actually not opposed to that. I'm one of the few people that would not. That would not bother me. I don't care. No, I would name this team the Clevelanders. No one likes it. I would name this team the Clevelanders. I think that'd be a cool name for them. But all to be said, we'll do more in the Cavs next week. I just want to do one thing that's going to drive Jared Watson crazy if I'm going to. I have loved the college basketball early this year. Loved it. It's been great. I watched a lot of the Baylor-Illinois game. Big Ten's tough. Big Ten's got some good teams. Michigan State with a good win at Duke. I watched that. Yeah. I watched what I'd call a basketball game. Kansas-Kentucky was sloppy. And, of course, the Boilermakers got a 7'4" kid named Zach Edey. I'm going to mention him every podcast. He is a monster. Purdue's going to be very, very good. The Big Ten's up. The college basketball, I've really enjoyed so far.
Well,
really enjoyed it.
I feel like a jerk, but I haven't watched college basketball like I used to for the past 5, 6, 7 years. I wish I need to get back into it.
No, it is.
Why not?
Yeah, and TGIF to you too, EJ. It is great. This weekend, if you want a jump starter for Jared Watson, for anybody, Baylor 2, Gonzaga 1 plays on Saturday. Big game. So as you watch whatever happens in East Lansing and you want something to change over to, I'd watch Gonzaga and Baylor. And Baylor's really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I've only watched bits and parts of Gonzaga, but I watched Baylor. Baylor's legit. That's a legit 2. Their defense, along with their size, they're going to be tough. Tough. Anyways, I've really enjoyed the college basketball early this year. Really, really enjoyed it. It's been refreshing. I missed it.
We are brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out. Original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Also coming soon to Evergreen Podcasts. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Cleveland and Beyond, or on Twitter at CLE and Beyond. You can shoot us an email, andyandjared@gmail.com. That's JARID. And also on Instagram at Official Cleveland Sports, where Andy and I do post-game wrap-ups after every Browns game in the evenings at 8 o'clock. And Holly jumps on as well. So yes. Tune in for that stuff. And guess that's about it. I think I was looking for something else. I don't know. Nothing. Go Browns. Go
Again, don't feel so nervous about this game when it comes to can the Browns compete. Yeah. Embrace this. This is fun. You want these games. This is not going to be easy. There's going to be some moments. Enjoy the experience. But don't get too Eeyore-ish on a Friday about this game. Way too Eeyore-ish to be my one.
Well, they were like this last weck. People have been like this, shitting on wins for just.
I know Eeyore.
They're fucking 8-3. They're 8-3. And
yeah,
it's 8-3.
I know. Could Derrick Henry go off? Sure. So can Chubb and Hunt. Can Mayfield outplay Tannehill? That is your dining room table question of the week. I think he can. Yes.
Protect the ball.
Oh my gosh! Please protect the ball.
Protect the ball.
Please protect the ball.
He's Andy Billman. I'm Jared Watson. Talk again soon. 8-3. 8-3. Holy shit. 6.5 point underdogs? Come on now. Come on now.
I'm getting my Daniel Johnson outfield jersey ready. Getting it ready. Pressing it out now. He's going to play next year, right? He has to play. Daniel Johnson has to play, right?
Can he hit the curveball? We'll talk to Mandy.
Just bunt. You know me and bunting. I love a good bunt.
Talk again soon, everyone. Bye-bye. Bunt.
Cleveland and Beyond with Andy and Jared is a part of Evergreen Podcast. You can follow them on Facebook at facebook.com/Cleveland and Beyond, on Twitter at CLE and Beyond, or shoot them an email at andyandjared@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit the website, clevelandandbeyond.net.